have any comment on the incident last night that resulted in your arrest?
Well, as everyone knows, it happened, and it's, I think, degrees of unfortunate mishaps, it's just what they are. Everybody has them, and some more than others, and the reasons why only God knows. And, I respect the officers. They have their opinions, and of course, the individual has their opinions. And, in reference to the accident itself, it was no more than what 1,000 people have every day. I was trying to miss what I thought was a mishap and over-engage my vehicle, and my wheel hit the edge of the infrastructure and a hydrant. So, to that extent, it was, it's one of those accidents that, you think something's getting ready to happen, you try to do something to adjust to it, and so many times, unfortunately, you do more than you probably needed to, and so that was the accident. And the officer, after, several conversations, and, he decided that, he was going to charge me with driving under the influence, and the other charge was failure to devote. So, and, I'll, have to, address those issues, through the process. And, other than that, I'm, going to try to keep my head up. And as for all I can get from God up above, the strength and endurance to continue doing what I do for the citizens of Ward 7, and knowing that, these type of things are an embarrassment to the individual, embarrassment to family members, and to those individuals who trust you and look up to you as far as character and your stature in the community. And so, I think, that becomes something that, that hurts also, and I'll have to address, that to everyone, and just hope that, they give me the chance and to show that, these things this was not, exactly what may sound like, because it's easy to say DUI, and to some extent, nobody looks further behind the issue as to the whys and the why nots, and what all the circumstances were, until there is actual, matters before the court. So, and I don't want to get into any of the challenges of that, so I'll just, be respectful of the legal process and address the issues from there.
Had you been drinking last night before you were driving?
No, I mean, I told the officer, the one place that I had been was probably like about 6 or 7 o'clock that evening, and had a cocktail, glass of wine, and 2 club sodas. So, it was just, I don't know, he made that decision, and that's his prerogative in reference to his discretionary, decision. And, to that extent, my opinion was, that I was not under the influence of alcoholic beverages. But, I wasn't followed by an officer. I wasn't shown to be weaving and shown to be speeding or crossing the center lines or anything like that. And, but, having to be there for the accident, that's what he felt. And so I'll have to accept that for now and work through the processes of it.
Where were you coming from, and where were you going?
Well, actually, I was going home. I had been with some friends, and we were on 63rd. I had planned on stopping by my office and picking up something, but I decided I was going to just go ahead and go into the house because my office is right here on 63rd. So it was only like about 2.5 blocks from my office.
Were you just like at a house, or had you been at a restaurant or something?
Well, no, I was with some friends that stopped by. Actually, they were supposed to have been at a restaurant, and I went by there and I didn't see the car, so I just turned around and came on back.
Okay. Obviously, this is the second arrest of this nature that
I
you've had
understand
in
it.
3 years,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and in the first one, in the court filings, you admitted that you'd been drinking and driving. What would you say to your constituents that would question why you've had, uh, this one hasn't been adjudicated, but what would you say to those constituents that would question why you've had two of these incidents since you've been serving as a council member?
Well, as I stated, it's people have unfortunate things that happen to them in different degrees, in different ways, and in the plea process, you accept responsibility in reference to trying to bring some closure to matters that I felt was healthy for everyone, myself and my family, and to move on with it. And so, a lot of times your opinion is still that what you believe that you was not, but you may ultimately bend into the whole process in order to get some leverage to move on with the process, with the matter, and put some closure to it. And so I think every situation has its own facts and circumstances, and those have to be weighed individually. And so I don't want to try to re-litigate something that's already been adjudicated, been closed in reference to the proceedings of that. And that's just kind of the unfortunate demise of this right now. And sometimes things happen, and for one reason or another, and here it is. And so I'll address it, and hopefully we'll be able to establish my beliefs about what happened, and in a convincing way.
Do you think that this at all affects your ability to capably serve as a city councilman?
Well, I work real hard at my job as a council person, and it has absolutely nothing to do with what I do outside of the council, because in reference to the council, sometimes I'm doing it, just as much as I'm doing my legal practice. And so I think my record shows, a track that clearly proves that, I do the job as the council person as far as representing my citizens. And I will continue to do that in hard times and good times, as it may be, as far as my personal life or anything else. I still feel like that I owe that duty to do the job, and so when there are issues in reference to infrastructure, when there's issues in reference to social issues, there's issues in reference to code enforcement and housing and economic development as it pertains to Ward 7. I think you can ask every one of the staff members that has anything to do with those departments that I am firmly, all the time speaking up for my ward.
Why did you refuse a breathalyzer test?
Well, that's just a legal, issue, and looking back, I probably second thought it was such a shock at the time that I think I probably, spoke faster than I should have been, because with the shock of the impact, and then being presented with it, it was just kind of like it was just a quick answer at that time. And probably if I would have took some time to really thought the whole process out at that moment, I probably would have said, well, let's take it. But I made the decision, so I'll have to work through that.
Mm-hmm. Has anyone suggested to you or asked you or anything else that you might resign or step aside as a city councilman?
No, I haven't been asked that by anyone that I know. No one has called me and said, that I'm sure. As I told one of the other reporters, I'm sure people will have their opinions. As saying, in any unfortunate incident, but I think there's enough people. There's enough people in this city that understands forgiveness. I think there's enough people in this city that understands, unfortunate happenings, and with that, I think it's character of the person to show how you can build off of it and how you can be more stronger and fighting through it, and at the same time do the job that you have been elected to do, and that's what I'm going to try to do.
Does this affect either way your plans to run or not run again next year?
Well, I haven't really had a whole lot of workings on that part of it yet, but we'll get to that in the near future and address that issue. And in the meantime, I think I need to take matters one step at a time and finish the job that we are doing, and have some time to look to the future.
And I understand that first and foremost you've said that you don't think that you were too drunk to drive, and this is still like a legal process that has to play out. But having said that, do you think that 2 incidents in less than 3 years, does that suggest to you at all that you have a problem with alcohol?
No, I wouldn't. I honestly would not categorize it like that, Michael, because in this business, I have witnessed and I have seen so many incidents where things happen back to back, and they're not always full of the elements of what the individual is charged with. And so to that extent, if there's any issue that I have as far as a problem, I can get that issue addressed. And whether it's a health issue, whether it's anything. But to just say that well, because of these 2 incidents and the length of time that you do have a problem, and if that was the case, I would be the first to say well, let's address the problem. And so if there was something that came out in any type of health issue that addressed something to the point of, well, you need to stop doing this, or you need to stop doing that, you need to stop doing that, then I would be the one to follow through with that.
Right. One other question I had was, you're obviously, you've done a lot of criminal defense work through your work as an attorney, including DUI cases. Why, after having pleaded guilty to this before, why would you drive at all after you've had a drink again? After the experience that you had and the regret that you expressed after the first one?
Well, again, that's kind of a loaded question, but I think there's a degree of, if a person said they had 1 cocktail as opposed to a person saying that they had 4, 5, or 6, or 10, and then the time frame from the time a person has an alcoholic beverage. I mean it's the same thing that you could go to every sports event and you could see the number of people that are consuming alcoholic beverages, and they leave and they get in cars and they drive away. But I'm not by no means, I don't want you to think that I'm trying to justify any degree of drinking and driving. I was just saying that there's a time frame that goes through the body that I think that you feel like that well, hey, I'm capable of doing what I need to do. Now, if a person's just going to sit there and consume alcoholic beverages all evening long and don't eat and so forth and so on, well, then I think there's a complete different situation. But
yes.
I've tried to be as straight with you as I can in reference to everything about this, Michael, and just the mere fact that you're placed in the situation of being arrested is an embarrassing, very, very embarrassing situation. And whether the first or the second, it makes no difference on the fact that it's still something that I'm going to work through, and I'm going to get it, and I'm going to take care of it, and I'm not going to lose any time from the job that I'm elected to do by doing it.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything else that you want to say that we haven't covered already?
No more than the fact that it's painful, and a lot of people going to have their opinions, and I have to be respectful of those individuals for their opinions. But I just, ask that, at the end of the day, that, I'm just operating with faith. I'm operating with my God to give me the strength and everything that I need to prove to this city that I am not a bad person. I am not an alcoholic. And I respect my position, and I respect the city leaders in this city, and I'm want to continue doing what I do, and the love for my family, and so I'm just asking that, now that it's out, my family, myself, that we get some time to mend this issue and, get through it with all the pain that's there,